On the monitor at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, endless lines of ones and zeros flickered. But they no longer made any sense. Instead of clear telemetric data about interstellar plasma, Voyager 1 was sending back nothing but digital noise. It was as if it had started speaking an unknown language after more than 40 years of flawless service. Arthur rubbed his tired eyes. He had joined the project as a young man back when the spacecraft was being prepared for launch in 1977. Today, Arthur was one of the few remaining specialists who remembered the architecture of that old, primitive by today's standards computer, which was now flying 24 billion kilometers away from Earth. "Come on, old friend, talk to me," Arthur whispered softly, running another diagnostic script. The radio signal from Voyager took more than 22 hours to reach Earth. Every step, every command sent turned into a grueling 2-day wait for a response. Around Arthur, colleagues whispered that this was the end. The probe's memory had degraded under the influence of cosmic radiation, and the spacecraft had simply lost its mind in the eternal darkness. Arthur didn't give up. He manually combed through printouts of old schematics, looking for a clue. On the second day of non-stop work, his eyes caught a single memory cell. The error wasn't in the processor. A single chip responsible for formatting the data before transmission had failed. Voyager hadn't lost its mind, it was just stuttering, unable to assemble the data packet correctly. With fingers trembling with excitement, Arthur typed in a command. It was a complex, blind surgical operation. He needed to send a code that would force the onboard computer to bypass the damaged chip and rewrite the archive into another part of the memory. The send button was pressed. The longest 45 hours of his life began. 2 days later, Arthur sat at the terminal, clutching a cup of cold coffee. Dead silence filled the room. The time for the expected response had arrived. 1 minute, 2, 3. The monitor blinked. Smooth, clean columns of numbers began rolling down the screen. Sensor temperatures, interstellar medium density, battery levels. At the very end of the data block, a system marker for a successful reboot appeared. Voyager 1 was talking to Earth again. Arthur leaned back in his chair and smiled for the first time in 3 days. The tiny explorer, built by human hands, had overcome yet another crisis and continued its journey into infinity.